Hello, Can You Survive fans? We are back at Tribal Council for the second Tribal Council of the day.
All right, come on in, Goddard.
That's right, you heard it. Goddard is about to file into Tribal Council for the second time for 2 members and the first for 6 for a total of 8 players at this tribal. So coming on in is Sean, Lindsay, Guillaume, Lex, Leo, Ange,
The stools are a little
Claude,
tricky, so
Ride,
the stools themselves are fine, but the ground's
and
a little
that's it.
wonky, so just be careful as you sit.
She fell off.
All right. Goddard, welcome back for some. Welcome here for the first time for others. Let's dive right into it.
Baby.
Ange, we're going to start with you.
What's up?
Obviously, with the big cornucopia victory last night, there was a lot of pressure on you to put together this tribe. How much discussion, how much did you have to answer for to the rest of the group here in terms of why you made the decisions you did, or kind of what the mentality was when you were picking the tribe?
Yeah, I think there was like general questions. Like people wanted to know like there was like rules about what we were doing and how we picked it, and sort of what I explained was that we were told that all the districts had to be split up, and that Nick and I did our best to try to keep teams sort of as even as possible. Look at um gender, look at strengths, look at all those different types of variables, and there was some bickering back and forth, um, but we were able to get to an agreement. And like I'm really happy with the way everything turned out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're back here for the second time, so I don't think that has anything to do with it, though. No.
Yeah, back here for the second time. I mean, Cod, what has to change for this group to avoid being here for a third time?
I mean, I'm tempted to give the classic answer, like we need to like really be all together as one, and hopefully after this vote we can all like come together and like be a solid unit. But yeah, I think really we just need to like lock the hell in. Like I think like in the challenges we just like gotta go. And I think, I don't know, some of it is like a little out of our control just based on like who we choose, but I guess that's in our control. Um, but yeah, I feel like we as a tribe can make it happen, and we will.
Okay. Lindsay, do you feel coming out of this tribal that, like Cod was saying, you will kind of come together as a group? Do you feel like the way that the strategy discussions were going felt like you're coming to a consensus, or you feel like it'll be a little bit more, strike a chord with too many people coming out of this tribal?
I think after every tribal, there's a little bit of catching up because we can't all be in everyone's conversations, especially for those of our tribe who aren't here. But I also think leading a tribal together, it's my first one, can really be a bonding experience in like a weird way. So I think that might happen moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Leo, I mean, tribal council is normally a bonding experience. It's where lines can be drawn, trust can be built. There's 6 of you here that didn't get to attend that first tribal council, so you're not coming in with that advantage. Do you feel like, compared to the other two, that sort of put you on your back foot heading into this strategy discussion?
I don't think so. I think it's a different dynamic. And you almost need to build trust outside of tribals. I think that tribal is a great way to establish, but I think it forces us to explore other ways of doing that. And I think that we've done that fairly well.
Okay. Guillaume, what are some other ways that you can build trust prior to even getting to a tribal council? You've had a lot of time with not only this group, but all 24 of the cast members. How are you going about building trust with people so that they're coming in trusting you for this vote?
I would say it's more like, for me personally, it's more like you need to connect with mostly with everybody. And at some point, I know that maybe during in the future of the game that whenever you know that you're a little bit more closer, that's how it goes far as well. So that's how sort of how I'm feeling in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I know the discussion before the challenge probably was pretty easy to pick these 6 here who hadn't participated. But Lex, I'm curious how the discussion went to figure out who was going to be doubling up on a potential tribal council appearance.
I think it's more what we talked about the first time around is what your skill sets are and where you're gonna best fit in that challenge. For me personally, it was I wanted redemption. I mean, I didn't complete the last challenge, and that really fucking sucked. And I feel like I wanted to like be a part of this challenge and redeem that for myself. And we did as we got as far as we could. And we were so fucking close, so close. So I think we did that. I think it's all about less about going to backdrop travels and being safe, and more like how do we avoid tribal councils. I think to Cod's point, right? It's like hone the fuck in and get shit done. Sorry,
Yeah.
kids, if you're watching. There's a lot of curse words. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what you said, Lex. I mean, I'll throw it to you, Sean, in terms of the end of that challenge. I mean, tantalizingly close. I mean, you really almost completed that comeback. Survivor is all about these highs and lows. Can you speak to a little bit about how you kind of had to reset your mind heading into the strategy session after coming so close?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of, even in my real life, like I'll give myself like 3 minutes to be like pissed off about something and then like just tell myself to get over it. So that's kind of what I employed here is like I even said that I was like, I'm pretty freaking pissed off right now. And I kind of stayed away until we got back to camp. And then I was like, okay, that's done with. This is what's right now. And I just have to lock in for that.
Yeah, similarly on the flip side, Renee, struggling with Ange on the first part of the snake piece. Did you feel like you owed some of them, any sort of apology, or did you kind of come to the tribe? Do you feel like that's putting a target on you in any way?
Yeah, it was really interesting, Cameron. I feel like everyone was so nice to us about that. And I mean, to like our credit, like we did not give up. It was difficult. It was hot. We kept having to pause the challenge. But we didn't give up. I finished that challenge feeling really bad, but the tribe is really amazing. And like literally, I don't know if that was your experience, and but like nobody made me feel like, oh, but it actually was the opposite. They were like, you guys crushed it, you didn't give up. And then Sean obviously crushed the last part of that challenge. We were so close.
I would like to say, I don't think there's any fantasy that anyone here isn't doing their best.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
on our
yeah.
way. But
Exactly.
like everyone is trying as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that, and I mean, I will say I was happy for you guys that you kept with it and worked through that, and then even the comeback, it was a good tribe effort. But if it isn't necessarily a challenge performance, Lindsay, what is the deciding factor heading into this vote? Are you thinking about pairs of districts on the other side? Are you thinking about other relationships? How do you then come to a consensus here?
That's a good question. I think a lot happened in 24 hours between just vibes at camp, individual conversations, and yes, the other partners at the other camp. So all of that has come into play. How that all connects, I think we'll have to see the domino effect of it because right now it's still so scattered in like the early stages.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that first domino fall. Unless anyone else has anything final to say, we can get to the vote. All right, let's get to the vote. We'll start with you, Lex.
No music?
All right, and away goes Lex to vote. And away we go for a little something that we here at Can You Survive call tea time. So I am heading on over beyond this mulberry bush, out of earshot of the players, and this will be my time to chat with you, catch you up on everything that I've heard about the players' thoughts going into this tribal council. This is our time together so that you are super informed about what's going on. So there are 8 players, lots to get into. I'm going to do my best to get it all done for you. This is also your time to ask questions if you have questions for me. In these earlier first rounds, I'm going to try and do like a fast and dirty sitch, and then we can get to your questions as well. So a lot of tea. Let me just flip to my tea time page because I have a little handy dandy notebook, and let's get into it. So the Goddard tribe back at tribal council again. Ange, if you will remember last night, won the cornucopia challenge with her partner Sean, and so she won the right to pick tribes after that. And she said at tribal council just now, oh, like, we bickered, we argued about it, but we got it done. They did not. They were in lockstep the entire time. They were checking in with each other, asking really great questions, like making sure they had people to work with, both of them, but not too many people, making sure they had people they could comfortably eliminate. Like, it was really fascinating to get like that into the mind of the players and their decisions. And what was also interesting is that last night there seemed like maybe like a careers alliance was forming with the first four districts 1, 2, 3, and 4. That seems to now be not the case anymore because Ange's current faves are Lex, Champagne, and Cod. She did say, or okay, her current faves as of last night, she said that her faves going into picking tribes were Lex, Champagne, and Cod, and she vibed with Lindsay the least, so she would be comfortable letting her go. However, that is not the target. Lindsay is not a target at this tribal council. The two names being tossed around at this tribal council that Ange heard are Lex and Guillaume. And of course, Lex is one of Ange's favorites, so she is trying to push it off of Lex and onto Guillaume. Let's see. So why Lex? Why Guillaume? Well, according to COD, Lex potentially because they are like everyone on the tribe is worried about Lex's connections on the other tribe. He has very good connections with that group of Caribou 12 over there, and also because like other people are talking about his like big personality that like it's big, and so it might be like socially threatening. And speaking of socially threatening, COD is wanted to target Lindsay because as of last night because she noticed that she and Aldria in the Pink District were really great at one-on-ones and they have a huge social threat level. COD going like last night, their faves were Lex and Ange, and that is no different today. Their faves are still Ange, Lex, and also Leo. And what's crazy with COD is they were thinking of targeting Guillaume because obviously of Guillaume and Lex, they're closer to Lex, but then they were persuaded to target Lex for those reasons that I mentioned, but then they were persuaded back to voting Guillaume again. So like a little bit of a mess switch up all over the place. But she or they really like Lex and Ange and Leo, so it is what it is. And speaking of Leo, someone else really liked Leo. Callan, our very first tribute to be voted out, actually said that she volunteered in the last challenge because she wanted to protect Leo because she really liked him. And so unfortunately that did not pan out for her, but it did pan out for Leo, who is of course sad that Callan got voted out. Leo, it feels closest to Lindsay, Cod, and Sean right now, and is also the only one that knows about Ange's advantage that she got yesterday. Well, or at least he thinks he is. So that is interesting. Let's see. Speaking of advantages, Lindsay not worried about advantages. She's decided she's playing the game like she's never ever going to get one. So she's focused on social bonds and who she has strategic chemistry with instead. She has great social bonds with Leo and Lex and Gideon, aka the Home Depot boys, because they were wearing orange yesterday. And unfortunately, she is not feeling a strategic bond with Guillaume because Guillaume is giving her no like strategy talk. Uh, so let's get into Guillaume. Guillaume is the kumbaya kid. As of last night, he was like, everyone's getting along. I want to work with everyone. No one's targeting anyone, like not at all. And so as we heard in tribal council today, he's like, hey, like I'm just working on trying to like be cool with everyone. I don't think he wants to jump into alliances too quickly or throw out targets too quickly. He in fact, when he was approached during the strategy session, kept just saying, I'm a team player, I have no alliances or targets. I'm a team player, I'm good. Which was famously a strategy that Sandra kind of used, like, hey, as long as it ain't me. But unfortunately, it might be falling on deaf ears with the tribe. Um, let's see. I had a through line and I forgot about it. let's see. Which, speaking of that, so Guillaume apparently did tell Sean that he would never vote Sean out, and then did not supply Sean with a target instead of Sean. And so Sean was a little like, like, are you just saying that, or, are you not? Speaking of Sean, he feels like he's bad at threat management, but he's like, oh, whatever, what can you do? He really wants to be doing the challenges, and he feels like he's his tribe's best chance of winning the challenges. And as we saw last challenge, he was really great at the snake puzzle. He's a huge Survivor fan, so he might be right about that. So far, it hasn't paid off, but I'm sure if he keeps trying, it will. And speaking of Sean, Sean, one of only 2 players to be at the last tribal council, also with Lex, who was also at the last tribal council. And Lex volunteers for both challenges because he likes to keep it 100. He likes to work with people that keep it 100. He wants to give 100% in the game. And while he likes working with people that keep it 100, he's said that he's not the most loyal player. So he's creating what he calls a loyalty smokescreen, where he's emphasizing tribe loyalty. So that's why he's volunteering for challenges. Lex unfortunately wanted to target Adore, but he is not at tribal council to be an option. And again, I mentioned the Smiley Alliance that Lex has with Jess and Reday. However, Reday made no mention of this Smiley Alliance at all. So yeah. So yeah, let's head on back into tribal council and find out the vote count. All right. We'll head on back in. Sorry that there wasn't really time for questions, but I promise you I will answer questions as tea time goes on. So we're heading back into the tribal council area now. I see host Cam is just heading away to tally those votes. So let's check on in with our players now as they await the vote results. Here at tribal council, we have Lex,
Hi.
Sean, Leo, Lindsay, Ange, Guillaume, Reday, and Cod. And here comes Coast Cam with the votes.
All right. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol or another advantage and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I'll get to the votes. First vote, Lex. Second vote, Guillaume. Third vote, Guillaume. Fourth vote, Guillaume. That's 3 votes, Guillaume, 1 vote, Lex. Fifth votes, Guillaume. Sixth vote, and the second person voted out of CYS District 13, Guillaume. That's enough.
I knew of course. You're amazing. It's okay. It's okay. I knew this was happening. Of course.
G baby, come here.
Yeah.
Come here. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Oh, it's time to do what I gotta do.
Guillaume,
Yes,
the tributes have spoken.
of course.
Yeah. So thank you, Phil.
Thank you, others.
Appreciate it. Hold on, Mr. Dollar. All right, Goddard. Well, I hope that you guys are gonna bounce back at the next one. We're going to get into the next challenge as soon as possible. So we'll just have you head over there, okay?
Okay.
Find the shade. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, shade. Yes, ma'am.
Always find the shade.
All right, you heard host Cam. We are back on the challenge field in just a few minutes, so keep it locked here. We should be going live very shortly with the third tribe challenge of the day. See you soon.